We're now going to work on object styles, which are styles applied to graphics. In this case, we're going to use the bullet styles on the page 2 of our document. So we need to zoom in so that we can do some fine work. So with the zoom tool, we can zoom into the top of the left-hand column so we can see the detail of the ETP graphic bullet point. Now we'll just look at the layers here because we don't want to affect the text layer, so we can lock that. So in the top of the layers palette, we can click next to the eye icon in the empty box and click to lock that layer so we can't accidentally edit that layer. Now if we click with the selection arrow, we can select the outer circle, and with the swatches palette we're going to give it the same colour as the text. And then give it, from the object menu, an effect of bevel and emboss. And in this dialog box, the effects dialog box, we'll choose a style of inner bevel. We'll click on preview so we can see the effect of our changes once the dialog box is moved out of the way. So we'll arrange it on the screen. We can see, clicking preview on and off, the effect of these settings. Now we're going to change the size of the inner bevel to 0p2 and click OK. So we now have an inner bevel on that graphic. Now from the window menu, we're going to choose object styles to save a style as we have with text. Create a new object style, and in the dialog box that comes up, we're going to give it a suitable name, ETP circle. You can see that it's based on none, it's not being based on a previous object style. Click Apply Style to Selection and Preview. Now if we go to the Drop Shadow option, make sure we make it ticked and click on the text title, which is Drop Shadow. We can change some settings for the Drop Shadow. So we want to change the offset to the right and down. So that's an X offset of 0p2 and a Y offset of 0p2, and then the size 0p4. With the colour change set at black next to the blending mode, we can click OK. And that style appears in the Object Styles palette. So like any style, we can now apply that to other objects in our document. So if we scroll down the page, if we click on an ETP graphic, we can apply the style. And so if we go down them in sequence, we can click and apply the style, or we could hold down Shift and select them one by one and then apply the style. So if we fit page in window, we can click on any that we haven't stylized yet, so on the right hand side there are 3, hold down shift, click each one, apply the style, and now if later on we wish to change that style for another colour for example, then we change the style and it changes every instance where it's been used. Now there are other style options within InDesign, and which these are for tables. And our document has some tables on a couple of pages. So at the bottom of page 2 there is a table, and with the text tool we're going to start creating styles. So if we choose the first 2 headings of the first 2 columns on our table, and then choose table menu, cell options, stroke and fills, we can choose a cell fill, so there's a background colour towards the bottom of the dialog box, and it's this washed out pale yellow colour, and we click OK. Now if we go to the window menu and scroll down to type and tables and choose cell styles, we have another panel open, and we can again create a style. So we can click on new cell style, give it a suitable name, and give it the name table head. Now the paragraph style we'll use is head 4, which we made earlier, and we click OK. So that's stylized the text. It's still selected, so we can't yet see the background colour. Now we can see that it's a pale yellowy orange colour. If we select the text on the next row down, make a new cell style for that text, and it's in the body of the table, so table body row or rows makes sense, and it's using the paragraph style table body, which was already created for us in the document. If we click OK, we've created some alternate or alternating coloured and stylized options for our table. So we now want to make a style for the whole table. So under window we can scroll down to type and tables and choose table styles right at the bottom, and we have a dialog box where we can choose from the right hand menu new table style. So we're going to give it a name T table. Now for the header rows, we've already made the style just now. So we're going to use table head, and for the table body rows, we will use the style we just made for the body rows of our table. Now on the left hand side we can choose fills, and we can choose to make the fills alternate between rows. So if we choose every other row and then the colour, we can choose the pale yellowy orangey colour that we had earlier, and we can also give it a tint. So we're going to change the tint to 30%. If we click OK, we should have a style which we can use on our table. So with the text tool clicked within the table, if we choose the style, it will apply that style to that table. Now we've got another table in our document on page 3, so we'll go to page 3 and it's on the right hand side in the third column across. Click in that table anywhere and apply the style, and that will be styled in the same way as this table we did earlier. We can now save that. Now if we go to page 2 of our document, we're going to update the style. So if we go to the top of the page, zoom into 100%, we click in the black T text and go to the right hand menu of the control panel, we can choose paragraph rules to add a line to our text below the text. If we choose rule below, turn on the rule, give it a colour and an offset so that it moves away from the text. 0p2 offset, it's 2 points below the text. If we click OK, we've amended the style head 3, so it says head 3 and there's a plus sign. Now if we do, from the paragraph styles menu, redefine style, then everywhere that's been used for the headings on this page will now inherit the paragraph rule, the yellow line slightly underneath each of those headings. Now if we go to page 3 of our document and go to paragraph styles, we're going to choose load all text styles and bring in some styles from another document. So if we navigate to lesson 7 and choose the 07_B document, if we click open, the list of styles in that document will appear. If we uncheck them all and choose the one we want, which is drop cap body, that also incorporates a character style called drop cap, so that will be automatically added. So if we scroll down, we can see drop cap body and drop cap. And we click OK. That style is brought into our document. So now we can use it. If we click in the first paragraph of page 3, in the paragraph styles we can choose drop cap body, and the first character of that paragraph is now a drop cap using a style we brought in, and we can save our document. So now we have finished our tour of the style options within InDesign. So if we switch to preview, scroll up our document, you can see what we've done. If we change actually view display performance to high quality display to make our graphics display at the highest resolution, we can now scroll down and it will look as good as it can on the screen.